that popped out to us. So all right, so now we'll go. This will probably be shorter. Going to All-Star voting. Let me pull up the. I should have done this ahead of time. Pull up the graphic in regards to who is leading in votes. Sorry. So yeah, in regards to the East, we'll start there. Kevin Durant's at 1, Giannis at 2, Embiid's at 3, Tatum's at 4, which I'll interested. Butler's at 5, and then Jarrett Allen, surprisingly at 6, which I think he does deserve an All Star. But I wouldn't say I was surprised he's that high in the maybe I forget how the East is though. Then Bam Adebayo, Pascal Siakam, Miles Bridges at 9, and then as much as I love him at 10 is LaMarcus Aldridge. So in regards to just the front court, you feel like anyone got left out, or maybe is a little or shouldn't be in there. I already hinted who I just didn't feel like Aldridge should be in there. No offense to Marcus, I'm glad you're back, playing your dream, but don't think I wouldn't consider you top 10 front court East player.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tough part here is that like only like a handful of these guys are actually going to make it. So like, can you really be mad that like fans are voting for Aldridge? Do I really care?
Yeah, and he probably won't because I think look at
Yeah.
the NBA balances it like it's like fans and then what players or I forget who else votes, but they factor
I don't
that
know who it
into
was.
because Jeremy
Yeah.
Lin should have been in an All Star game.
Um, just some people off the top of my head that I'm a little surprised maybe didn't show up here. Domantas
That
Sabonis
was
from
my
the
first
Pacers.
thought.
The tough part is that they're losing a lot of games. Maybe Pacers fans just don't feel motivated at all to vote, but he leads their team in points, rebounds, and assists. He might lead them in other stats too. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know he's leading in those categories. So his name popped out to me. And then I don't expect him to make it, but I would take him over LaMarcus Aldridge, and that's Evan Mobley from the Cavs. I mean, look
Yeah.
what he's done for them. The fact that you talked about they're playing a 3 big lineup, even Jarrett Allen, I would take over LaMarcus Aldridge, but he's already on here. So yeah, I don't know. For the rest of it, I understand a lot of these people because once again, the voting with the fans is kind of a popularity deal. So I'm not shocked that a lot of these guys are on here, even if they maybe don't necessarily deserve to be.
I'm
And
shocked that
that's
Jarrett Allen is as high as he is, considering the like.
yeah.
Just in
I
regards
think
to
I was just gonna say I think Cavs fans are maybe just like really excited because they didn't expect to be good. Oh my gosh, we are, and he's been playing fantastic. So maybe Cavs fans are just super pumped about it.
yeah. So yeah, I'm with you. I think the most bonus would be the one I'd throw in there. I'm trying to think. I think that's about it. Trying to think. Yeah, I wouldn't say that Julius Randle deserves. John Collins does not. No. Maybe the only other person, maybe Vucevic, but I'm not sure what his numbers are this year. Um, I'm sure he has better numbers than Aldridge, though. So,
I can pull it up.
anyways, but yeah, and it's also tough because it's tough to determine. Like some guys play the 3 and the 4. So do you consider
Yeah.
some of those guys like in the front court? But yeah, otherwise not a lot of besides really Aldridge. No offense to Marcus, and maybe Siakam's been better this year, but Aldridge is the only one that really pops out there.
Yeah. Just for stats, Aldridge is averaging 13, 5, and 1. Vooch is averaging 16, 11, and 4. So Vooch is definitely statistically better.
Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if Vooch like replaces Aldridge when it's the actual,
Yeah.
voting or selections. All right, so then we go to guards. DeMar DeRozan at 1, and then Trae Young at 2, and Zach LaVine at 3. So shout out Chicago for all. I guess Chicago fans showed up too. Then James Harden at 4, LaMelo Ball at 5, Kyrie at 6, even though he barely played any games. Derrick Rose at 7, Fred VanVleet at 8, Darius Garland at 9, and then Jaylen Brown finally at 10. So, I'll just go first. Obviously, I feel Jaylen Brown should be higher, but at least he's in there. Not sure about Derrick Rose being in there. And honestly, and probably I'm gonna say Kyrie too. Sorry, he just hasn't played that many games, but he'll probably will be getting in there. That's probably one I'll be wrong on.
I feel like Kyrie won't get in because he hasn't played at all. Like he's played like 5 games. And I have to imagine that the NBA be like, no, like that's ridiculous.
But also, I don't know. I just feel like too, if he's not included, that either him or his following are gonna make a big uproar about him not being in the All Star game. which I'm not even sure where it is. So he might not. Who knows if he'll even be able to play if it's one of those places that he has to be vaccinated. I'm not sure, but
If he gets in, man, I'm gonna feel so sick because it's gonna be like a guy like Darius Garland who's gonna miss out, and
yeah,
he's averaging like 20 and 8, and so he's playing. He's played 40 games, so like yeah, that would be honestly that'd be kind of a joke if Kyrie was to make it. I don't want to be harsh because people might, I'm a Celtics fan. So people might think that I hate Kyrie. I don't. I'm a little bit indifferent on him. I didn't love what he did in Boston, but like as just a player, I'm a bit indifferent. But I feel like you have to play games if you're going to be an all-star. Like how many games has Kyrie actually played? He's played 5 games. 5 games. That come on. Like there's no shot he should be allowed to make it.
who knows? Anyways.
If we punish guys for being injured and playing like 15, how is a guy playing 5 allowed to make it? That anyway.
Only other name I'm trying to, because it sucks at the East. One name that comes up, I feel like should be in the conversation. I think should be in the conversation for sixth man. Tyler Hero, he's been much better this year. Kind of had a bounce back year. Maybe he's found his niche off the bench as their main scorer off the bench. But I think he deserves some love there as well. I was gonna say Jimmy Butler, but I realized he's in the front court.
I'm a bit shocked, which I'm going to pull up his stats, that Bradley Beal isn't even mentioned.
Yeah, and also
he's played 36 games. He's averaging 24 points, 4
Wizards
rebounds.
should also be considered. Was one team that we kind of glossed over in surprises, but they're in the playoff race too. They deserve some love.
Yeah,
I got it right here.
Bradley Beal. Yeah, he's not even on here.
He's not
kind of shocking.
He's averaging 23 points, 4 rebounds, 6.4 assists, 3 turnovers.
And he's not top 10 in votes. That's kind of shocking to me because he's also a very popular player.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely deserves to be in there. Poor guy. Jeez, I feel like he's always been overlooked in his career because even I forgot about him. But I would throw those two in place of Rose and Irving for sure. Obviously, I think Jaylen Brown should be higher. Let me look at James Harden's numbers because I really don't think he should be fourth, but he's James Harden, so it's one of those things. I'm just trying to see. Okay, he's averaging 22, 8, and 10, so I can't fault him too much. So all right, James Harden, you get a pass there. But yeah, other than that, I think that's really about it. It's just Derrick Rose and Kyrie Irving. Yeah. I can understand Fred VanVleet. He's kind of had some good moments this year too, been consistent for the Raptors. So, yeah. Any other objections on your end?
No, I mean, even I'm gonna pull up the stats too because once again, these are just guys I'm thinking off the top of my head. Like Kyle Lowry, I'm surprised isn't mentioned on here at all.
I think
the Heat are second in the East.
He's been in and out a lot for the Heat. I think the Heat have been killed by COVID too.
I mean, he's played 39 games. I mean, it's not like the most games on the team, but like he's played more than Bam. He's played more than Jimmy Butler. I mean, he's only averaging 13
and 8,
4 and 8, so it's not amazing, but.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, that 39 games versus Kyrie's 5, like I'll take Kyle Lowry over Kyrie.
And he is a big reason why they've kind of bounced back. Another solid defender, passer, and shooter that they need. But he definitely deserves some love, but he probably won't make it. So, alrighty. So that was the East. Let's run over to the West. I think the West is definitely a little more interesting. So front court for the West: LeBron at 1, Jokic 2. Andrew Wiggins at number 3, Paul George, Anthony Davis, Draymond Green, Carmelo Anthony, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and DeAndre Ayton. So that's the front court. Any names pop out to you in your head that you go, that probably doesn't belong?
Definitely Wiggins. Definitely Carmelo Anthony. And I love Carmelo, but he does not deserve to be an all-star at this point in his career. Those two, I'm a bit shocked that they're on there at all.
I mean,
that's just big fan bases, I guess. But
no, I'm right with you in regards to that. I don't really understand how they get there. So in regards to who would replace them,
I'm trying to make sure that he's not in the guard spot. He's in the guard spot. See, the West has a lot of guys who are like combo 2-3s. Yes. So I was going to say Anthony Edwards, but he's on guards.
But in regards to some quick replacements, like I would even throw Porzingis out there. He's averaging 20 and 7 and 2 blocks a game. He's been solid. Jaren Jackson Jr. I think kind of deserves to be in that conversation at least. I'm not saying he deserves to be in there. Trying to see other players. Also, the West is hard because we're missing like if Zion were playing, he probably would be a lock for this, but he's not playing because
Right.
which that whole situation has been interesting too. Which we probably won't go over today. That situation and the Sixers and Ben Simmons, but those two have just been so. I've been surprised by how little there has. I mean, there hasn't been much to report. It's just
Right. With Ben, I get it though. Like he doesn't want to play there, and so he's not gonna play there, and that's how it's gonna be. But for Zion, I haven't heard like any word on what's
and
happening
then
at
apparently
all.
like he's and I'm not saying this in a drug. I'm just saying like he's quote unquote fat. Is what like
Yeah.
he's gotten
So
a little chubby. But anyways, that's just a whole interesting conversation. But I
I was seeing some memes that was like him super ripped and like fit, and it was like Zion the moment he gets traded.
yeah, he probably starts hitting the gym. Um, Another name in front court I would throw out there would maybe Christian Wood. I know the Rockets suck, but he's been still have even with this a young sucky team, 17-10. What? Oh,
Oh, I was gonna say Brandon Ingram. I know
oh
the
yeah,
Pelicans suck, but like I mean, he's still exists. He's
poor
averaging
guy.
23, 6, and 5. Like I feel like that's
Yeah.
pretty
Oh,
decent.
it's definitely been yeah. He's been having he's been playing well. I mean,
Also, underrated, Jonas
Valanciunas.
Valanciunas has been
I just
quietly balling
I
out.
pulled up the team stats. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
18-12, and
And he's become a shooter. Like he's been knocking down some threes this year. So Valanciunas, I mean, if we got to boot Wiggins and Carmelo Anthony, like I would definitely take either of those two over them.
yeah,
Especially since it's not like Carmelo and the Lakers are like record wise massively better. At least for Wiggins, like they're winning a lot.
yeah. So all right, I think it's about good there, right? We can move on to
Yeah.
the guards. So now we go with the guards. Steph Curry 1, obvious. John Morant 2, Luka Doncic 3, Klay Thompson 4, Devin Booker 5, Russell Westbrook 6, Chris Paul 7, Donovan Mitchell 8, Damian Lillard 9, and Anthony Edwards 10. I already mentioned. I feel like Dejounte Murray should be in this conversation. Honestly, I would put him over Russell Westbrook. Just like you want to talk about a guy that gets triple doubles. Dejounte's kind of in that class. I think Dejounte's a better shooter, definitely better, more willing passer, and better defender at this point of his career. May not be as good of a driver as Russell Westbrook, but that's just one that already jumps out to me. I,
I mean, I don't have a replacement for him yet, but I can't say that Kyrie doesn't deserve to be on there and have Clay Thompson
I was
deserve to
about
be
to
on
say,
there.
I was about to
He
ask, like, how do
also
you feel
played
about
five
Clay?
games.
Yeah, Clay
I
hasn't
mean,
played much.
I love Clay, but once again, 5 games. Like there is no reason that at 5 games, even though their situations are different, he was injured, he's coming back 5 games. There is no reason you deserve to be in the All-Star game
Yeah,
because at that point, it's just your reputation that would be getting you there.
now. So in regards to who would replace him, it's like maybe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander probably should be in that conversation. I know, like the Thunder are doing the weird. Thunder are weird, man. It's like I think that maybe
Yeah.
they're competing this year, and then like because they play Shai Gilgeous for an extended stretch, and then like he doesn't play for a little bit. It's really weird. But Shai Gilgeous would be a replacement nominee. I would throw up. But I'm
Yeah.
glad that Anthony Edwards got in there too.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards, another guy I think that deserves to be in that conversation with D'Angelo Russell. I mean, his like attention has gone massively down since he went to Minnesota, but he's averaging 19 and 7,
I
as well as
completely
like three and
forget.
a half rebounds. So he's doing pretty good.
There are times, even this season, where I completely forgot that D'Angelo Russell existed.
Yeah, that's the
Where
Timberwolves
I'll look at,
effect.
yeah, right. It's Timberwolves. I'll be like, oh man, I forget that Karl Anthony Towns is. No one cares. I'm sorry if any Minnesota fans happen to be watching this, but no one cares. Like I have yet to meet a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. I've met like Minnesota
Yeah.
Vikings fans. Never met a Minnesota Timberwolves fan.
Which this is a whole conversation, a different one, but that to me that's the NBA's biggest problem that like a sport like the NFL doesn't have the problem with is they're so like major city reliant that like if you're not in Los Angeles or New York or Miami or even like the Texas teams, like these massive cities, because although you don't think of like San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston as like LA, like they have a lot of people that live there, so pretty big fan bases. If you're not there and you're not like majorly successful like the Bucks, then you're going to be forgotten about.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So other than that, so that's we take out Chris Paul and Clay. And,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely take
oh,
out
no, sorry,
Klay.
Russell Westbrook and
Yeah,
Klay.
Russell
Sorry.
Westbrook, not Chris Paul.
Chris Paul is right next to the name. I brain farted
Yeah,
there.
yeah, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, other than that, I'm glad to see John Morant very high on the list. Shout out Memphis
Yep.
for showing out because yeah, I think I saw Draymond
Balling.
said a quote that he deserves to not just be most improved but like MVP.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll talk about the next time. But MVP, I feel like is also very wide open this year. Like I
Yeah.
could be Jokic again because the Nuggets are just once again ravaged by injuries. Jamal Murray still isn't back. Michael Porter's been out. Other than that,
Which, by the way, this is a really funny story. So you know the story about when the kid with the Warriors jersey tried to like fist bump Ja and he took it personally.
yeah.
Did you see what the Grizzlies like team shop did after that?
I think they offered like anyone to come in and trade like another
Yeah,
team's
so
jersey or
anyone 12 or under could come in and they could give up any other team's jersey and get it replaced by a Ja Morant jersey plus 2 free tickets to upcoming games. And they had like a line out the door. It was pretty awesome to see that. That was just a cool story.
great marketing by their
yeah.
team. But yeah, I'm just curious. Like obviously we will never know. I'm just curious if like any people like found like either old other jerseys or like bought like other jerseys for cheap, knowing that they could just get a replace for their kid. I'm just curious. I don't know.
I mean, if you're a Grizzlies fan and you want like an official team jersey, man, you go to every garage sale in the area and you go find somebody's jersey to exchange.
Yeah, you might maybe you'll probably find some other teams. I'm trying to think of teams around Memphis, but
I wonder if it even had to be authentic. Like, what if you showed up with just a fake one? Will they take the fake one?
I don't know, maybe. But well, I guess
it's for kids. I feel like they had to.
They had to. It's just you just kind of side eye the parents and like give it to the kids because you're not gonna say no to the kid. And I'm sorry. Last point, I forgot to mention surprises, but the Clippers they deserved some love because we never really talked about them. But no number 2, and Paul George has been out for a while, and they're still in play-on conversation. But all right, I think that's a good wrapping point. Unless you had anything else to add, All-Star wise, maybe we'll come back around All-Star break. That's when we'll start doing more NBA regularly. But
yeah, I know that when we last year when we did the predictions episode, that was pretty fun because of all the different events. They got all that stuff. So
I think we'll definitely do that.
Yeah,
maybe we'll probably be back like Pro Bowl week because that week's a very dead week in the NFL besides hires. So we'll probably be back then. So it was fun to do this. We'll definitely, like I said, once NFL season's over, it'll be easier to. And the NBA gets in the playoffs, it'll definitely be easier to cover the NBA. It's just, like I mentioned, just tough, especially since, once again, players have been in and out because of COVID, and just there's like 4 or 5 games a week, or I'm exaggerating, but like 3 or 4 games a week per team, and it's just hard to keep track of everything.
Right.
So, once again, if you like the episode or anything of that sort, you can feel free to check out our socials, Instagram @ShutUpandBallPod. John's been doing great graphics and just stories and such, interactive. Obviously doing NFL stuff right now, but we'll be leaning towards NBA later on. You can check out our Twitter too, @ShutUpandBall, and we have a TikTok @ShutUpandBall as well. And then obviously wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we're on there. And then we're also on YouTube, which is Shut Up and Ball, and Facebook, where you can find obviously this audio if you're listening, or videos cut up. And once again, also John's great graphic work. Other than that, anything else? Are we good to sign off there?